and moved on with their lives. Do you know which is the success? It's called UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. It started 70 years ago with several hundreds of thousands of Arab refugees from a war that they waged to prevent the state of Israel from coming into being. And look how successful UNRWA has become. Today it counts 5.5 million refugees from a war that ended 70 years ago. This is what it's doing. Why is it doing it? This is absurd. Generation after generation after generation, it allows Palestinians to continue to believe that they are still refugees from Palestine. And where do these refugees from Palestine live? In the West Bank, under the Palestinian Authority, in Gaza. Certainly by their vision, they live in Palestine. So if they live in Palestine, how are they refugees from Palestine? Oh. They know which Palestine they are refugees from. The Palestine from the river to the sea. The Palestine that one day will be free. Free of what? Free of Jews in their mind. That's the Palestine from the river to the sea. So they live in Ramallah and they live in Gaza, but they view themselves as refugees from a Palestine that will replace Israel. And the UN supports that. Switzerland, Italy, Belgium, all the countries you come from, France, they fund that. They allow the Palestinians to continue to believe that. They live in Jordan. They are citizens of Jordan. They have never been displaced by war. They are wealthy business people, and yet they are still refugees from Palestine. Nowhere in the world, for no people, for no country, are people born in a country, citizens of that country, and somehow still refugees from another country in which they've never been. The UN allows this absurdity only against Israel. And in Syria and Lebanon, it counts 1 million refugees. Almost all of them left Syria and Lebanon. Do you know who is a refugee? The multi-millionaire father who lives in Los Angeles of supermodels Bella and Gigi Hadid. He's a refugee in UNRWA in Syria from Palestine. That's a refugee. Only Israel is singled out. Why? Why does the UN allow UNRWA to perpetuate this lie that there are more than 5 million Palestinian refugees who possess a fictional right of return? There is no such thing. There is no right of return. Even if the United Nations General Assembly says that, it's not true. It doesn't exist. Israel is a sovereign country, and it has the right to determine who becomes its citizens. Why does the UN do that? Because the UN thinks that it made a mistake. In 1947, it let it slip that there should be a Jewish state. Oopsie, mistake. They didn't think that the Jews would win and survive the war of annihilation waged against them by the local Arab militias and 5 Arab armies. But we survived and we declared our independence. And ever since, the UN has been committed to trying to correct that mistake of the establishment of the State of Israel. So it allows Arab Palestinians to continue to stand at Israel's borders, in Gaza, in the Palestinian Authority, and it basically tells them the war is not over. 70 years after you tried to strangle Israel at birth, don't give up. Don't give up. A little more, and this will go away, and you will return. This is why they march on the border of Gaza, never on the border of Egypt. And they march in the name of return, not in the name of an independent Palestinian state, not in the name of better conditions. They prefer to not have a state of their own in part of the land if it means that the Jewish people will have their state on another part of the land. This is what the conflict is about, and the UN every day betrays its mission by basically creating war, instigating war, and telling the Palestinians, keep fighting, the war is not over. But you and we are here today to say the war is over, Israel shall stand, and Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you.